A lot of people on this planet apparently have alien devices implanted inside their bodies, and they don't even know it. What are these devices for? God only knows. Actually, they could be devices like Eye of God type technology, where basically these beings could implant these things, and basically they could see everything that you see, everything that you experience from wherever they're sitting at. I don't know. Who knows? There's all kinds of theories out there about what it is. But anyway, over the weekend, I watched this very interesting documentary called Patient 17. It was a documentary produced by Jeremy Corbell, of course, the noted ufologist and documentary filmmaker. And it came out in 2017. And basically, it was about a guy who allegedly was abducted by aliens at different points in his life, and at some point, apparently they put something into his leg. They implanted some sort of a device into his leg, and he wanted to get it out. And in 2014, he went to the late Dr. Roger Lear, a surgeon, and also like Corbell, he was a noted ufologist, and he's well known for performing surgeries and removing alien implants from people. And actually, this person was the 17th person that he removed an object from, and actually it ended up being his last, because even before the Corbell was finished making the documentary, he died. Lear died in 2000 or early 2014, March 2014. He was dead. So he never got to see completion of the documentary, and that ended up being, of course, as his last patient that he did this surgery on, and found an object and removed it. And he never even got to see the results of the tests that were conducted on this object, which were very strange results, to say the least. But and Lear, actually, Lear had his own ideas about what these implants are used for. He basically, for one thing, there were 3 different kinds of implants that he found of the 17 patients where he took out an object. Some of them were metallic, that were covered with like these metallic rods that were covered with a biological coating. There was other ones that were non-metallic whatsoever, and then there were implants that were just completely biological. And he said that each of them operated differently from what he could observe. And there were 7 of the metallic ones covered with the biological coating that were all basically virtually the same object. I mean, that's very strange in itself. Helps to prove that, yes, there's something going on here. How do these 7 different people from all different parts of the world get these little objects in them? And all these little objects are the same thing, and they contain exotic material, an exotic number of different metals. It doesn't make any sense why all these different metals would be in this little tiny object. For what purpose? And there were other things about these objects, like the one he pulled out of patient 17, which was one of these metallic rods with the biological coating. It actually had isotope ratios that don't exist in this solar system, according to experts. And another weird thing about these implants is that there's no inflammation around the area where they were inserted. And there's no scarring. There's no entrance point. And for some reason, like these objects, the nerves like blend in with them. The nerves of the body will blend in with them, and like it was part of the body somehow. Now, I've heard in different interviews with Lear that his theory was like that the human race was getting manipulated by these aliens, and that there was some sort of genetic manipulation going on, and this whole implant thing was all part of that, so they could watch progress of different people that they abduct without having to abduct them again. That was his theory, one of his theories. He wasn't sure. He doesn't know. How could you know? But basically, what they're doing, it seems like it's to a lot of people, it's the same thing as the way humans tag an animal. Okay, we'll put a device into different animals, and then you could track them. Then, basically, is that what the aliens are doing to us? I mean, now Lear pointed this out, that, well, yeah, that could be the case, but again, if you're dealing with beings that are, 100,000 years more advanced, 1,000,000 years more advanced than we are, the reasons for what they're doing, we might not be able to grasp it or understand it because they're just so far more advanced than we are. But from a human standpoint, that's what we would think they're doing. But he might not have been right about that. Nobody knows what the real purpose is behind this. But what's interesting about it was in this documentary, this object that was found in this patient 17. It was amazing. It was taken to a nanophysicist named Chris Cooper in one point of the documentary toward the end, and these are some of the quotes that he says in this movie. He said, "There's nothing I could imagine that could explain why this man would have a witch's brew of elements within a sample embedded in his leg." And then Corbell asks him, are these elements unique in any way, just the elements themselves? And then this Cooper's, oh, absolutely, this is the most astounding array of elements in a simple sample I've ever seen. The nanophysicist also states, somebody went to a great deal of effort to create this object. So what is it, and why are they doing it? I mean, another thing that Lear opined, these objects use some sort of electromagnetic frequency that we're unable to understand yet, scalar waves, and that's we're not able to tap into that right now. And that's just another theory. There's all kinds of theories, but the fact of the matter is, there are objects in some people that are put there by these aliens, and they have been discovered by people like the late Dr. Roger Lear. And what are they all? What's going on with this? It's there's some reason behind it. I mean, say there was one inside me right now. I mean, for all we know, they could be seeing everything that I'm seeing right now. They could see me sitting here at this table talking, and they could hear everything. They could experience basically the same thing, basically like the eye of God, kind of technology. It's possible. Anything's possible. When you're talking about 1,000,000 years more advanced than we are, which they could be. I mean, we don't know. Okay, 10,000 years. Okay, 100,000. Throw out any number. They're more advanced than we are. And you look at what we have today. It's amazing what we've developed in the last 100 years. I mean, 100 years ago, this cell phone, I mean, that would have been like witchcraft. But today, everyone has one. I mean, look at the things it can do. I could sit here and watch a movie on it. I could film things. I could talk to somebody and see their face while I'm talking to them. The technology that we developed in just the past 100 years is amazing compared to, comparatively speaking. I mean, our advancements are just, doubling up, tripling up. It just gets faster and faster. So if they're 10,000, 100,000, 1,000,000 years more advanced than we are, then what are they capable of doing? What are these things that they're putting inside humans? For what purpose? There has to be a purpose. Is it just simple tagging, like some people suspect? That sounds too simple to me. There could be other reasons. Who knows? It could be. Okay, maybe it's all part of the the hybridization program, the alleged hybridization program. Okay, we need some a sperm sample from this number 1,721. Well, where's he located at right now? Okay, let's go to him tonight. We'll, we know where he's at. We could track him instantly, so we'll go there tonight and we'll abduct him and then take that sample. Who knows? It sounds crazy, but there has to be a reason for it. Now, This whole idea of alien implants, it sounds insane. However, it doesn't sound as insane as it used to sound just a few years ago. Now that we have the government stepping forward in 2020, the Pentagon admitting that, there's objects, we can't explain them. Now that we have that, anything's possible. Now that opens the door to all these other questions. Alien implants. It's real. I mean, some people have these objects in their possession. They were removed from certain people who claimed to be abducted by aliens at different points in their lives. They wanted these objects taken out and they were removed. So we know. And we're told that, yes, there's objects out there we can't explain. So that means that's probably real then. Alien implants. That, yes, it makes sense, actually. I mean, they're abducting people. If those stories are true, and then some of these people end up with exotic little objects inside them for unknown reasons. Now, of course, the debunker out there will just, it's nothing. It was just something they stepped on and they forgot about it when they were kids. And they have no idea what they're talking about. Again, armchair bullshitters. Making stuff up as they go, just to come up with an excuse, but they don't have any proof. I don't have any proof either, but there's more proof on the side. Even as crazy as it sounds, there's more proof on this side of the fence, on the side that, yes, there's something to this side of the fence, than there is on the debunker side of the fence. Because there's actually objects that have no explanation with a bunch of different materials in little tiny piece of metal that shouldn't be there. Like, it's impossible. Nobody would be doing this, and if they did, it would cost a lot of money. But then besides that, the isotope ratios on these things. This Cooper, who looked at this object and looked at the report of all the properties of this object that was conducted by some lab, right? He said that these properties, they're not from this solar system. They don't even belong in any surrounding solar systems. They're definitely not from Earth. That was his conclusion. If you watch that documentary, Patient 17. Now, there's supposed to be an effort to have somebody else do another test on this stuff. I can't find anything on the internet about that, and maybe there was no more tests on it, but the initial test showed that, yeah. But beyond that, okay, the guy that the implant was taken, this is just one of the 17 guys that Lear operated on over the course of a certain period of time. That guy said different occasions, there's these aliens showed up. And he didn't like it, and he felt like the way he didn't like the way he was being treated. And all of a sudden, there's some object shows up on an X-ray, and he doesn't know how it got there, and he wants it out. So he goes to Lear, and Lear takes it out, and they go to study it, and you get these exotic materials in it, and it doesn't make any sense. So it's not just from stepping on something as you're taking a walk somewhere. No. Something put it in there. Apparently, one of these beings that came to this guy, he saw the beings. He doesn't like to admit it. Who does? Who would like to admit it? Especially years ago when the stigma was so great against it. You look like a nut to a lot of people. In fact, I just read some editorials. There was in the Los Angeles Times. They recently had an op-ed talking about UFOs, and there were some people that just can't believe that you would write something like that. That's all nonsense. Little green men, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of people out there, believe me, that still think this is nonsense. They just can't accept that. Aliens from outer space, you're mad. They're crazy. They're the crazy ones. But see, again, the proof is on the other side. They don't have there's nothing on their side except proclamation. Nothing whatsoever except proclamation. We now have verification from governments, from our government, from the United States government, that there are objects that they have no explanation for. We have that. Okay, we have now Congress established an office that will go into effect next year that will be studying this. We now know that the Pentagon's going to continue studying it in their own office that they created recently, and a lot of stuff that they're not going to share that information. Apparently, they're going to try to keep a lot of it hush hush, like the way they've been doing but at least they're admitting stuff. At least they admit that there's things out there they don't have any understanding of. All the sightings continue on all the time. We're getting stuff, different things every week. Credible video. A lot of times, just about every week, we're getting credible video from all different parts of the world showing these things. And again, alien implants. It's a real thing. There's people out there who have these things, and people right now listening to this, watching this, some of them might have them and they don't even know it. And you might be being watched from a distance by alien beings and you don't even know it. It sounds insane, but it's possible. It's possible. Anything's possible now. Now that the lid's starting to come off, we don't understand what's going on here. Life as we knew it before is changing. It's changing. And a lot of people need to start open up their eyes a little bit and accept it. And let's move forward and try to figure out what it's all about. I'd like to know what are these objects? Why are they implanting certain people? What's the purpose behind this? I'd like to know the answers to that.